Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many different twists and turns, as well as surprises in this film by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one great thing about this film by J.J. is that he is finding multiple ways in order to connect it to both the prequels, the originals, and even the unexplained era of the Star Wars films, in between the events of the originals and the sequels, in order to really fulfill the Skywalker saga. Now, we do know that JJ has a lot of plans for this movie. He's very ambitious and goal-driven, and he's really trying his very best in order to satisfy a majority of Star Wars fans around the world. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for the characters of Han Solo, Rey, Poe Dameron, Finn, and a whole lot more. Now, specifically, a description of Rey, Finn, and Poe on board of the Millennium Falcon, where it's described that the DO droid is plugged itself into the Falcon's mainframe, where it discovers an old transmission of Han Solo. It's described to be a message that was hidden away by Han, where he was trying to reach out to Ben Solo after his turn to the dark side. It's described to be a very emotional message to Ben, begging for him to come back home from where the dialogue is said to be recorded by Harrison Ford during post-production. Additionally, it's described that a recording is also found of Han expressing his anger towards Snoke and reaching out to him, as well as demanding his son's return. It's said that the DO droid goes through the transmissions as if it is tuning through a radio station. Lastly, it's described that Lando finds a hidden coordinates in the Falcon where Rey and her crew that were kept away secret by Han Solo. It's described that these coordinates lead them to the exotic city, the location of the Dark Prince who has connections to the First Order, that eventually help Rey, Poe, and Finn. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this. Now, first things first, I will say that the fact that they are using Han Solo as a character in the background for this movie in a very unique way is a great way to honor the character. We do know that J.J. Abrams is the one at the end of the day that really had to finalize the decision of killing off Han Solo in Episode 7, The Force Awakens. And now that JJ is back in Episode 9, it really seems like he's trying to honor the character of Han in multiple different ways. Now, in this scenario, we have the whole entire team, Rey and her crew, on board of the Millennium Falcon, where inside of the Falcon's mainframe, the DO droid, by the way, that's a new droid, it's just simply spelled DO, plugs itself into the mainframe of the Falcon, revealing, of course, new transmissions of Han Solo that were kept away secret by Han Solo himself, where he was trying to reach out to Ben Solo and even Supreme Leader Snoke. And this was also tied directly into why Snoke knew about Han Solo, why he expressed that name so much in The Force Awakens, saying Han Solo, 1, 2, maybe even 3 times. More to the story here, since Han actually found a way in order to reach out to Snoke and demand his son to be returned to him. As well as the emotional one, right? Where Han is begging for Ben Solo's return and trying to reach out to him, most likely to either his shuttle or a First Order finalizer. Now, the other piece that I do want to go over is the coordinates that are discovered by Lando Calrissian, where Han Solo kept these coordinates secret, which is, of course, the coordinates to the exotic city and the location of the Dark Prince, who eventually helps Rey, Finn, and Poe about the First Order and exactly where the headquarters are located, since the Dark Prince does indeed have a lot of connections to the First Order, or at least once had connections to them. So what's really intriguing about all of this, right, these things that Han Solo kept locked away, within the Millennium Falcon, or hidden away, I should say, in a cryptic fashion, inside of the mainframe of the Falcon that are discovered by the DO droid, as well as Lando Calrissian. Like I say, we do know that Lando Calrissian is going to really overtake the Falcon in Episode 9, and he's really going to use the Falcon, in a proper way with Chewbacca. It just feels right? I feel like that the more respectful thing to do in this movie is to really kind of just disregard Rey from the Falcon and have Lando Calrissian be associated with the Millennium Falcon from this point forward. It just makes sense in my point of view. However, these things that are actually revealed by the DO droid of Han Solo, these transmissions of him trying to reach out to Ben, and even Supreme Leader Snoke and expressing his anger towards Snoke, and how a lot of these lines are actually going to be recorded during post-production by Harrison Ford himself. It just makes me a whole lot more happier about this movie and what JJ is really trying to do in order to make it quite an emotional experience. Now, we do know that Harrison Ford is all set and ready to film some sequences during reshoots for a Force Vision scene, or should I say, yeah, something around the lines of a vision sequence for Kylo Ren, where it's going to be used in a sense where it's going to make Kylo Ren shift toward the light a little bit in this movie, because we do know that remorse still lies within Kylo Ren after what he did to his own father, Han Solo. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.